European Fund for Sustainable Development Plus, through which we support investments. The idea is that we are there to help de-risk the financial parts of the investment by providing a sovereign guarantee to the EIB on one hand for public lending operations, and then we aim to mobilize the private sector, what we call open architecture portfolio guarantees for the European financial development institutions. And they act as our intermediaries towards the business and towards the, for example, commercial banks in the area of SME financing. So this is a major part of how we will finance the global gateway and how we will be able to leverage the investments. Sustainable finance also plays a key role here. I would just want to mention one particular operation. It's called a Global Green Bond Initiative, which is another flagship of Team Europe, led by the EIB and a group of European DFIs and with the European Commission. So the idea here is to facilitate private capital coming into the climate and environmental projects in our partner countries. So the idea is to help develop and expand credible green bond frameworks. And this enables our partners to mobilize capital from institutional investors and finance climate and environmental projects. Half a minute, very good. So therefore, I would like to just mention, finally, 2 Tanzania Team Europe projects, so that there is also some message on how we are working with Tanzania. One is the Kakono hydropower plant, on which we will have a signature ceremony. We will hear more about that, so I don't dwell more. Another one is a Team Europe on blue economy, supporting the design of governance and blue economy policies. And the third one that I'd like to mention is the Team Europe initiative on green and smart cities, to support concrete investments in green infrastructure. And I think these are all areas that speak to Tanzania, that speak to the investors, and speak to the infrastructure that is at the very heart of the global gateway. Thank you very much. I want to finish it there, thanking you already for being here, and let's make this business forum a success. Not only for the Tanzanian government and the European Union, but particularly to the business communities of both EU and the Tanzania. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Karonen. I gave you 3 minutes extra because you have 150 billion. Otherwise, I would have been very strict on time. But thank you for the presentation, and it's very good in the audience that even the bankers are here, ministers are here, key decision makers are here, both sides of European Union and Tanzania is here. I think my do all the introduction, but I see a number of very important faces to really tight up this presentation that we have given for both public and private sector. So I'll move to the second, my second presenter, His Excellency Justus Abuk Manga. From you are our team leader. He's our team leader, by the way, for all the ambassadors who are based in Europe. He's based at the headquarters in Brussels. And you live there. How can this economic diplomacy be a tool to steer and increase the EU investments in Tanzania and partnerships between Tanzanian and EU firms? Karibu Mheshimiwa Balozi. 5 minutes.
Thank you so much, moderator. I want to appreciate the presence of everyone here. The first priority for we diplomats, we ambassadors, is to deepen business and investment cooperation between Tanzania and our partners. So it is so encouraging to be part of this program this morning. I want to appreciate so much the organizers for the effort that they've been putting on tirelessly to make this event possible. I understand it has been done collectively between EU and the Tanzanian side. I want to appreciate so much. I also want to appreciate the presence of several ministers who are here. Mheshimiwa Kijaji, our Minister for Investments, thank you for taking part, and the other panelists. Moderator, my question is about the role of diplomacy, economic diplomacy, to the advancement of the trade and investment. Here with me, I have my colleagues, ambassadors, who have come along from the EU zones, and some of them are here, some of them will be coming, but I want to recognize the presence of Ambassador Dr. Posi. He is, could you please just, he's our ambassador based in Berlin, Germany. He's also covering several countries from there. We do have also our ambassador, Caroline Chipeta. He is our ambassador in The Hague, the Netherlands. We have also our ambassador in Italy, Ambassador Combo, covering also several countries from there. We do have Ambassador Shelukindo. He is here, but he will be joining us soon. And the ambassador is covering from Paris. We have also Ambassador Grace Olotu. She will also be here by tomorrow. She's based in Stockholm. And we have our chargé d'affaires from Vienna, Austria. She's also with us here. So I will be speaking on their behalf, and I wish I will represent them well. Moderator, your question is more specific on the role of diplomacy in advancement of the economic and the trade, particular trade and investment. But allow me to set a little bit background on this issue. We all know that EU is one of our greatest partners when it comes to trade and investment. I am based in Brussels, but several things are happening on the grounds. And let me just take you with a few figures that came from the survey that was done in the EU report in 2022, which indicates that Tanzania exports to the EU in 2021 amounted to 456 million euros, our export to the EU. And that counted to almost 8% of the all total exports of Tanzania to the EU, to the globally. But when it comes to the imports, the EU imports to Tanzania doubled. It was around 856 million euros. That counted to 10% of the total EU exports globally. So that indicates that we are a good partners, because one is taking 8% of the total exports of Tanzania are going to the EU, and the 10% of the total export of the EU is coming to Tanzania. But again, on investment, between 2016 to 2020, EU, between 2013 to 2020, EU had invested projects valuing 1.5 billion US dollar. 1.5 billion US dollar in that span of 7 years. That also shows something. And we have more than 115 new projects that have been registered just between 2016 to 2020, with a value of 471.9 million US dollar. These are impressive figures. So how do we do it? How is economic diplomacy helping in this process? We are doing several works, and we are not doing it ourselves. You know, economic diplomacy is not a silos. We don't do it in a silos. We do it with other partners. We do it with ministries, with agencies from the headquarters, with the private sectors, with you business and the investment players, and we are all combining this. But what is our role? One is supporting you. We are here to support businessmen and the potential investors. All these ambassadors, we are supporting you to know the new markets and to know the investment outlets all over the Europe. So if you need any support, any way of knowing where to start, how to start, we are here to help. We are here to promote your business, to promote your investment. Because in economic diplomacy, promotion of business and investment is the cutting edge of our activity. So if you have any business that you want to promote, want it to be known, I'm talking even to Tanzanians, businessmen, here we are. Tell us what you want us to promote for you. We will do it on your behalf. We are here to build a network and a linking. Maybe you have capital, you don't know where to go, how to start. Maybe you have products, you don't know how to go and where to sell. We are here as embassies to link you, to build a network that you need, whether through B2B, business to business, or business to government. We are here to help you to do some interventions which might expedite the process making. You know, business, you need to make a decision. And those decisions, you need to have sometimes negotiations. We are here to intervene, to expedite, to make easy that process. Sometimes you may even engage us to do the vetting of the companies that you want to engage with.
Sekunde 15.
We are also here to facilitate financing models that can be useful to your business. I'm very happy that in this room we have several people who have been already engaging us on several initiatives on how they can get some money. And we have even the representative of the European Investment Bank and the other financing companies. So financing is not the issue. If you have a financial issue, people from the banks, you are here, we can link you and see the best way to facilitate you to get financing, which can be very useful to you. So I don't want to do more. My time is limited. I think I'll come back. But I want to assure you that our embassies stand ready to give you any assistance that you may need to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Nyamanga. We are running out of time. I would request Paul Makanza go straight to the point. I'll give you 3 minutes only because you have to be straight to the point. How can private sector, how have you organized yourself to grab this opportunity? But it's so nice to see also several bankers in the room. Minister of Finance is there. Banker is, I can see, Sekela and other banks. Can see also from Minister of Finance, Director of External Finance, Richard Bade, who is here. All our ministers, deputy ministers, together with our deputy PS in our Ministry of Foreign Affairs are here. So once again, Paul, straight to the point, 3 minutes, because I want the ministers to sum up, and then we have to receive our guest of honor. Straight. Thank you. Your question is, as I told you, what opportunities do you see for win-win on both sides, on your private sector, together with the European Union in Tanzania? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Let me also use this opportunity to extend a very warm welcome to our guests from EU. And we would love to see more EU businesses coming into Tanzania. Now, this whole program we talked about has a number of win-wins. both for the European businesses as well as for Tanzanian businesses, and ultimately for Tanzania as a country. Now, if we begin with our foreign investors, our colleagues from Europe, obviously a key win-win is access to two things. One, access to raw materials and natural resources. To give you an example, certain raw materials or resources are only found in Tanzania. Gas, for example, is one of the big opportunities in our country. And other natural resources, as you all know, we are endowed in that respect. Market access. Market access. Tanzania is a member of the East African Community, SADC, and a number of other regional integration blocks. Now, in East and Southern Africa alone, we are talking about a market of 450 plus people. Now, this is a huge market, young population, a growing middle class, and therefore, as businesses, we know these matrices to look for in the future, because you need to think now and plan for the opportunities that are emerging. The other benefit is really about efficiency. There may be opportunities to actually produce certain of your products more efficiently in Tanzania rather than in Europe, simply because of cost of labor and other related costs. But what is equally important, and we learned this through the COVID pandemic, we also present an opportunity for European companies or nations to actually diversify your supply chains. I mean, if there's one thing we learned about the COVID is over-dependency on China, and when things went haywire, everything just turned upside down. And perhaps it is now time to look at Tanzania, look at Africa in terms of actually building these supply chains so that you diversify the risk. For Tanzanian businesses, it's very obvious. I mean, one, skills and technology, we need that. Two, obviously, access to finance. You talked about availability of finance. So the finance, the money's out there, but it's actually looking for good bankable projects. A good area is in the area of green financing, as my colleague talked about. And definitely this partnership between European and Tanzanian businesses will actually help to boost our competitiveness so that we can actually access European markets in a competitive manner. And obviously, one of the big things currently is the whole issue of the green transition and ensuring that our companies operate in a socially and environmentally sustainable manner.
Okay, Paul, I'll stop you there because I've been given only 10 minutes because the guest of honor will enter anytime now. And I want my two ministers, and I put Minister Shatu the last today because I want her to sum up everything because she's the owner of this forum. She's the owner of this platform together with EU. And I've made a request that next year we would like the same forum again as a platform for us to have a dialogue. So I hope my request will be taken on board. So going to Mheshimiwa Soraga directly, Minister for Investment from Zanzibar. Looking at the business environment and you as a minister in charge for investment on the Zanzibar side, what are the conditions you put in place to attract investment? In 2 minutes, please, Mheshimiwa. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa Balozi. And I want to join others to take this opportunity to thank the organizers for putting up this wonderful event. And again, extend our gratitude to the ministry for continuing to give Zanzibar an opportunity to attend these very important forums. There's no bigger stage than this for Zanzibar, and we really appreciate this opportunity to be able to come out here and inform the global community on what is going on the islands. Going straight to your question, I think the basic underlining of an investor when they want to make an investment decision is based on two things. One is on the ease of doing business, and number two is on the accessibility or the overall business environment. And these are the two areas that we took a close look into under the 8th phase government to determine what is the current situation in terms of ease of doing business and how is the investment climate. And we immediately went into action to review our laws, our policies, and since then we have amended several laws, including our PPP laws, in order to invite more public-private partnership engagement. But also, we've tried to open up things on Pemba Island so that we can create equal opportunity for investment on Pemba. And so we declared Pemba as a strategic investment area by making a few changes on the guideline on our Investment Act. That is one area. But another area is to look into the human capital. How do we enable our people to be able to deliver service efficiently, effectively, without delays, and provide timely decision-making as far as issuing investment certificates and any other certificate that is required for an investor to be able to set up shop. So we've had several engagements, signed MOUs between the Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority and TIC. We have an MOU between Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority and the Rwanda Investment Bureau. And we hope to sign another one also with Mauritius. All of this to enable our people to be able to get exposure, change mindsets, and be able to provide services more efficiently. And then on the other hand is to look into the digital transformation. As we know that the globe is evolving, and ICT is a huge part of service delivery. And so we are undertaking now a process of putting in place systems that would allow or minimize human interaction and allow our investors to be able to access information, to be able to be granted investment certificates, all of this while doing it online. We are also improving on our physical infrastructure, developing roads. We have a 300-kilometer road project that is going on. We are developing our ports at Mangapwani, which is a strategic project for us, which will be a multi-purpose port. But we also completed our airports, and we are currently building another airport in Pemba. All of this to set up an environment where our investors can come in and be able to conduct their activities with ease. And then another area is on ensuring that we have the right financial facilities. So inviting in investment, for example, on fintech, which is a huge thing at the moment, inviting in banking sectors so that we can have a much more broader scope. And we're looking now to develop capital markets. Hopefully we can be able to develop that, the Zanzibar Stock Exchange, as well as offshore banking activities. So these are some of the areas that we thought we have to take immediate action to make sure that we create that conducive environment that we are all looking for.
Thank you, Minister Soraga. There will be a lot of time for interaction, and I can see you are here with your full team from Zanzibar, including Zanzibar Investment Authority. Now I'll move straight to our very important host minister, Honorable Dr. Ashatu Kijaji. And 2 questions only for you, because we have limited time. We have a maximum 5 minutes, because this is your platform, this is your forum. Mr. Karunen mentioned 3 areas. He mentioned blue economy, green and smart cities, and digital enhancements opportunity. And I think the green part can be taken on board, especially Tanzania now has moved its capital city to Dodoma, and there is a good opportunity for Dodoma to become one of the shining examples of green cities. What have you got to say about that? And number 2 is, what are the conditions that you have put in place to attract immediate investment from EU? Karibu Mheshimiwa Waziri. Once again, Ambassador Manfredo Fanti, thank you very much for organizing this very important. Asante sana. We really appreciate. I know where it started and I know the story behind. Mheshimiwa Ashatu, karibu sana.
Asante sana, moderator, and thank you so much. What I can tell to you is just to welcome you to Dar es Salaam in these 2 days here. They are historical for us here in Tanzania, hosting all these European Union investors and business communities. You are most welcome. In Tanzania, we say karibuni sana. I wish to respond to these 2 questions, but Your Excellency, I have received some notification from His Excellency Vice President. I think we need to welcome him, and then we will proceed with our session. So I'll respond to the questions after the opening ceremony has ended.
Okay,
Please.
asante sana.
I'm sorry for that.
Asante sana, Mheshimiwa Waziri. Thank you very much, Madam Minister. And I think we'll take also the questions from the audience after the guest of honor speech. So, Austin Makani, can I return the mic to you and all the other responsibilities? Asante. Thank you. Thank you, audience, once again. Asanteni.
Ladies and gentlemen, a bigger round of applause to our panelists, but more to the moderator. Your Excellency Mahmoud Thabit Kombo, thank you very much. Interest of time, but we will have 2 days to network and engage. So a lot of this content will come from one-on-one engagement. Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, Ambassadors, Tanzania and European Union business communities, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Tanzania EU Business Forum 2023 is a platform to present, understand, and engage on available opportunities for private and public investments in Tanzania. Tomorrow, we shall also have the opportunity for us in Tanzania to learn what are the opportunities in Europe so that we can either expand or we can go and invest in Europe. To make this forum a great success, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it requires us to network, it requires us to engage, and please, since all of us got our invitation letters, on the invitation letters, there was a link for us to fill up the profiles. So let us build our profile so that we may actually be able to engage with the business community that has come all the way from Europe. As mentioned, there are more than 1,000 people here, more than 200 from Europe looking for business opportunities in Tanzania. The networking session will commence as soon as we finish the opening session. So we are setting up now for the opening session, and after this, there will be sessions going on in this venue, but again, through the profile that we're going to build, we are going straight into the networking sessions. For those visiting Tanzania for the first time, karibuni sana. I hope you make the most of your stay after this forum. Get to know Dar es Salaam, get to know Tanzania. We have our regional commissioner for Dar es Salaam here, alongside all other ministers present, so please get to know a lot of opportunities, the beautiful nature trails, beautiful beaches in Dar es Salaam, historical museums, but we also have local markets, including the fish markets that are very close to us. Zanzibar is just 15 minutes flight, 1 hour and a half cruise. Please make time to explore Tanzania before you return back to Europe. Bagamoyo is about an hour drive. Bagamoyo dates back as early as 18th century and used to be the German East Africa capital. So please, if you have time, make sure you visit these places. And those who will have more time, they can visit Kilimanjaro, which is the highest single freestanding mountain in the world. Based here, it's here in Tanzania, but we have Serengeti, Ngorongoro, and a lot more. Ladies and gentlemen, Manfredo Fanti and Ashatu Kijaji have co-chaired to make this event a great success, but behind them is a very big and able organizing team. Can we please put a round of applause to this wonderful team that made this event a very great success. I would now like to welcome Gibson Mwaya to take us to the next session, which is the officiation of the Tanzania European Union Business Forum 2023. Gibson Mwaya, karibu sasa uweze kutupeleka kwenye hatua inayofuata ya uzinduzi rasmi wa kongamano letu hili la Umoja wa Ulaya na Tanzania, tukiangalia fursa mbalimbali ambazo zipo za kiuwekezaji katika maeneo haya yetu. Also, through your name tag, you can scan the QR code so that you can know the program of events that will be taking place today. Gibson Mwaya. Also, one of the major highlights for this opening session this morning, we are going to see and witness the signing of MOUs. This is the setup that is ongoing. We're going to witness the signing of the MOU worth 343 million euros. Can we put our hands together to that? Which is equivalent to 874 billion Tanzanian shillings. A bigger round of applause to that. And distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this is only happening on day one, but day two, we even have a bigger cake to slice. We shall witness tomorrow the signing of MOUs amounting to over 652 million euros. A bigger round of applause to that as well. Which is close to 1.6 trillion Tanzanian shillings. These are all a result of a very great effort of putting together the European Union and Tanzania Business Forum 2023. So momentarily, we shall commence the officiation of the Business Forum, and Gibson Mwaya will now take over the stage and the mic ready for this session. So please continue to build up our profiles through the link that was shared on your invitation letters. These links are very important because from these links, you are now able to match make with European business community that has come to Tanzania looking for opportunities in Tanzania. And we are the opportunities that is available at the moment. So please build up your profile and get set for the matchmaking. As I mentioned earlier, the session for one-on-one will commence as soon as the opening session is finished. So the more you build up, the more you make those appointments ready for matchmaking, and hence a successful European Union and Tanzania Business Forum.
Spirit of Africa. Simple and inspiring. Tanzania unforgettable. Coming to Tanzania is to visit the unforgettable. From one attraction to the next, each scene is more gripping than the last. Unforgettable, breathtaking landscapes are the order of the day. A never-ending wonderland that truly indulges the senses. With its award-winning national parks, game reserves, mountains, forests, waterfalls, lakes, islands, and endless beaches, you are simply spoiled for choice.
Asante, naomba brass band tujiandae kwa ajili ya kumkaribisha sasa mgeni rasmi. Brass band, please get set as we are about to welcome to the stage the guest of honor.
From the time
and as the guest of honor walks in, I will then request all of us to, when he walks in, I will request all of us to please stand up, and then we shall have the brass band usher him in. The program can be found through scanning on your badges. Karibu Mwaya, and take us through the next stage. Karibu.
Nawasalimu kwa jina la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Wageni walikwa, mabibi na mabwana, awali ya yote niwakaribishe kwenye jukwaa la biashara kati ya Tanzania na Jumuiya ya Ulaya, na naomba tusimame tumkaribishe sasa Makamu wa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Mheshimiwa Dr. Philip Isdori Mpango, Makamu wa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Kwa heshima kubwa tunaomba uendelee kusimama, utuongoze kwa nyimbo za taifa la Tanzania, wimbo wa Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki na baadaye wimbo wa Jumuiya ya Ulaya. Na tutaongozwa na brass band ya Jeshi la Polisi. Karibu. Asante sana. Mheshimiwa Makamu wa Rais, tunaomba uketi. Naomba watu wote tuketi. Mheshimiwa Dr. Philip Isdoli Mpango, Makamu wa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, waheshimiwa mawaziri, waheshimiwa manaibu mawaziri, waheshimiwa mabalozi, waheshimiwa makatibu wakuu, manaibu makatibu wakuu, watendaji mbalimbali wa serikali, wakuu wa taasisi za serikali, wafanyabiashara, wawekezaji, wageni waalikwa, mabibi na mabwana. Awali ya yote, naomba nichukue nafasi hii, Mheshimiwa Makamu wa Rais, kukaribisha katika siku hii ya kwanza kati ya mbili ya jukwaa la biashara kati ya Tanzania na Jumuiya ya Ulaya, linalowakutanisha Watanzania, wawekezaji na wafanyabiashara kutoka ndani na nje ya Tanzania. Tukiwa tunakwenda sasa kuanza ratiba yetu, kwa heshima kubwa naomba nimwalike Mheshimiwa Amos Gabriel Makalla, mkuu wa mkoa wa Dar es Salaam, aweze kutoa salamu fupi kwa dakika 2 za mkoa wa Dar es Salaam. Mheshimiwa mkuu wa mkoa, kwa heshima na taadhima, karibu sana.
Mheshimiwa Makamu wa Rais Dr. Philip Mpango, waziri wa uwekezaji, mawaziri wote walioko hapa, mabalozi na wote waliotambulishwa, nichukue fursa hii kuwakaribisha katika mkoa wa Dar es Salaam, jiji letu kubwa la kibiashara. Tumefurahi kwamba mmekuja kufanya mkutano huu hapa na sio Dodoma, kwa sababu ya ukubwa na wa Dar es Salaam, na huwa anasema kama ni Marekani basi Dodoma ni Washington, hapa ni New York. Kwa hiyo karibuni sana, na naamini kabisa unaposema uwekezaji, wawekezaji wengi wako katika mkoa wa Dar es Salaam, wanawekeza katika mikoa mingine. Kwa hiyo na fursa zipo kama ambavyo balozi alikuwa anaeleza. Kwa hiyo karibuni sana mkoa wa Dar es Salaam, na tuko tayari kuwapa ushirikiano kwa fursa zozote zile ambazo mnazihitaji. Tutawapa ushirikiano katika mkoa wa Dar es Salaam. Karibuni sana, na ni mkoa ambao mko salama. Mkutano wenu mtaufanya mpaka mtakapoondoka. Asanteni sana.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Amos Makalla kwa ukaribisho wa wageni katika mkoa wa Dar es Salaam. Mheshimiwa Makamu wa Rais, baada ya ukaribisho huo, sasa kwa heshima kubwa naomba nimwalike Dr. Ashil Twahib Abdalla, Katibu Mkuu Wizara ya Viwanda, Uwekezaji na Biashara, aje afanye maelezo mafupi na utambulisho wa viongozi walioalikwa katika jukwaa hili. Karibu sana.
Your Excellency, Dr. Philip Isdoli Mpango, the Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, it is a great honor to present to you the key guests, as well as the government officials from the United Republic of Tanzania and the Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar, as well as high-level delegates present at this occasion. Your Excellency, guests of honor, the Tanzania-EU Business Forum has gathered more than 700 participants from Tanzania mainland, Zanzibar, and our guests from European Union. Your guests of honor, allow me to introduce the participants at the high table as follows. Honorable Dr. Ashatu Kijaji, Minister for Investment, Industry, and Trade. Honorable Modric Soraga, Minister of State, President's Office, Economy, Labor, and Investment. Mr. Paul Makanja, the Vice Chairperson of Tanzania Private Sector Foundation, who is representing the private sector in Tanzania. From the European Union, kindly, our guest of honor, allow me to introduce Honorable Oliver Birch, Minister Delegate for Foreign Trade and Economic Attractiveness. Honorable Thomas Ostos, Vice President, European Investment Bank. Honorable Helen Koenig, the Deputy Secretary General of the European External Action Services. Your Excellency, guests of honor, in the interest of time, kindly allow me to introduce our distinguished participants in the room in groups. We start with honorable ministers present. Honorable deputy ministers present. Permanent secretaries present. Deputy permanent secretaries, Their Excellencies, Honorable Tanzania ambassadors in EU member states, Their Excellencies, ambassadors from EU member states, heads of government institutions present, heads of private sector organizations and companies, representatives from development partners, representatives from non-government organizations, investors from United Republic of Tanzania, investors, our guests from European Union, Your Excellency, guests of honor, we do acknowledge the presence of members of press from European countries and most importantly, our Tanzanian media members. Your Excellency, guests of honor, Ministry of Investment, Industry and Trade believes that this forum has laid down an important stepping stone towards increasing business and investment between Tanzania and the European Union. It builds on the existing partnership around development cooperation by recognizing and including the private sector, which is a significant player in both social and economic development. Your Excellency, guests of honor, we would like to recognize the presence of Honorable Ambassador Manifesto Fentry, EU Delegation Ambassador to Tanzania. And also we recognize the presence of Ms. Helen Koenig. Your Excellency, guests of honor, and Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, thank you for this and for the kind attention. Thank you.
Asante sana. Yeah, His Excellency Dr. Isidoli Philip Mpango, Vice President of United Republic of Tanzania. Allow me to take this opportunity to welcome Honorable Oliver Bech, Minister Delegate for Foreign Trade and Economic Activity of France. For France, for his remark. Honorable Oliver, please welcome. Just 2 minutes remarks, and if you don't mind, you can talk English. You can summarize in Swahili.
We will make in English, but I think it's a little bit.
No problem. Just proceed.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Well, Your Excellency, Dr. Philippe Mpango, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Mr. and Mrs. Ministers, Honorable Representatives of European institutions, and Honorable Ambassadors. Habari za asubuhi. Good morning and bonjour. I am delighted, really delighted, to open the EU-Tanzania Business Forum alongside such honorable guests this morning. This event reflects the new partnership that the European Union and Africa have defined together and that they are putting into action. This partnership is based on common values, on shared commitments to the promotion of an international rule-based order, and on collective action for sustainable and inclusive development. We have developed together, Africans and Europeans, a comprehensive strategy that encompasses green transition, energy access, digital transformation, sustainable growth, peace and security, migration and mobility. This is the list of the shared priorities we agree on during the last EU-Africa summit 1 year ago. Our choice to invest in Africa is a long-term one, as well as a mutually beneficial one. We supported African countries when we were collectively hit by the COVID-19 pandemic by ensuring a fair and equitable access to vaccines in developing production capacity on the continent. We supported our African partners to find the adequate responses to the macroeconomic effect of the COVID crisis and of the Russia war of aggression in Ukraine. I wish to insist on the fact that this renewed partnership between Europe and Africa is key to face global challenges, including the most pressing one, climate change. In the context of the renewed EU-Africa strategy, I must say that the relationship between the EU and Tanzania is very good, as Tanzania is one of the fastest growing economies in Africa. It is a gateway to 6 landlocked growing countries in addition to insular countries in the Indian Ocean. Tanzania is also a beacon of stability in the region, and under the leadership of President Samia Suluhu Hassan, its position has greatly improved. Let me acknowledge here the democratic reform enacted by President Samia in a short time frame. These are steps that are praised not only by the international community, but also by the private sector, because they demonstrate the willingness of the government to address those issues. The EU-Tanzania partnership is supported by shared business values of free trade and sustainability. Therefore, we need to promote Tanzania as a business destination for European private companies and investors. I know that among us this morning are European producers, retailers, distributors, investment funds, financial institutions. Some of you are already operating in Tanzania, and others are looking for opportunities. Let me tell you that I sincerely believe that this country has a tremendous potential. This forum is also an opportunity to identify the areas where expertise of the European business community can accompany Tanzania in delivering its economy priorities. In other words, this forum discussion must help the European private actors in the room to add value to the socio-economic development of Tanzania. The European institutions are also instrumental in fostering our presence. By law, European companies have to comply with the highest environmental, ethical, social, and transparency standards in the world. It is in their DNA. But the importance of the European institutions lies also in their capacity to provide funding solutions that are transparent and respectful of the country's sovereignty. I would like to emphasize this message. When you deal with the European family in its larger meaning, whether it be companies or institutions, you engage with people who are keen in building capacity and enforce good business practices. I also would like to stress the opportunity provided by the European project for infrastructure around the world called Global Gateway. It can be tapped to fund projects that connect Tanzania to its hinterland and the rest of the world, such as Bagamoyo Port. European and French companies in Tanzania have therefore been reliable partners and have created thousands of skilled jobs. They have increased their investments with other Tanzanian companies and with the government as well. I'm glad that French companies, which are part of this big European family, have become in numbers. If you allow me, I would like also to say a few words about France and Tanzania. First, I want to recall that Tanzania is an important neighbor for the French island of Mayotte and La Réunion. Both countries share a long history, and since President Samia took office, this relation has been on a fast track. It culminates with her visit in Paris in February 2022, where she met President Macron. France, therefore, wants to participate alongside the European Union in accompanying the positive dynamic President's impulse in the country, especially in two major sectors, energy and transport. This is the sense of my presence here today and the presence of an important French economical delegation. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, I would also like to take this opportunity to say a few words on Ukraine. Tomorrow will sadly mark the first anniversary of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, which has caused awful pain. Ukrainians pay the highest price, but hundreds of millions of Africans are also paying a heavy price in their daily lives. Tanzania has not been spared. I say this in Tanzania, the country of Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, who, with his legendary wisdom and leadership, refused invasion of Afghanistan in 1979 and Prague in 1968, while he was very close in that time to the Soviet Union. France and the European Union are working together with local governments to try and alleviate the consequences of this war on African people. France has been very active throughout the launching with the frame of the European Union of the Food and Agriculture Resilience Missions, Farm Initiative, and the Grain for Ukraine Initiative. These measures have benefited East African countries like Somalia or more recently Malawi for fertilizers. As a conclusion, I would like to say that the relation between the European Union and France on the one side and Africa and Tanzania on the other side is a relation between equals and between neighbors that respect each other. We benefit from each other on different levels, our prosperity is a shared prosperity. We want this partnership to grow, and from our side, I can assure you that we will do what it takes to make it successful. Pamoja, tunaweza. Thank you. Asante sana.
Asante sana. His Excellency, guest of honor, please allow me now to call Honorable Elena Koenig, Deputy Secretary General of European External Action Service, for a few remarks. Karibu sana.
Your Excellency, the Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. Mpango, Honorable Ministers of Investment, Industry and Trade, Madam Kijaju, Honorable Minister Soraga, Honorable Ministers Olivier Becht, Vice President of the European Investment Bank, Honorable Mr. Thomas Östros, members of the government of Tanzania, ladies and gentlemen, habari za asubuhi. The economies of the European Union and the African countries are recovering from two successive big shocks. But the shocks of these shocks' consequences are global. We are facing a triple crisis of global food security, price hikes in energy, and a debt crisis that faces many countries. We need to overcome today's crisis by strengthening our relationships. We need to strengthen our relationships politically, people to people, and business to business. And that's why we are here today, strengthening these relationships. We need to give new impulses to our businesses, who more than ever need to find new partners, clients, and suppliers. The high number of European companies, together with the Tanzanian companies that are here today, bear witness of the strong interest there is to develop more business partnerships between Tanzania and Europe, but also in the wider region of East Africa. In 2021, EU-Tanzania trade amounted to over 1 billion euros. This is made possible by the most extensive market access for trading partners that we have in Tanzania through the Everything But Arms policy. We look forward to strengthen and deepen this relationship through the conclusion of the Economic Partnership Agreement, as we are doing with Kenya, and we hope soon to do also with Tanzania. Tanzania is a country of opportunities and an increasing economic potential. Tanzania is also the logistical hub for trade. The completion of big infrastructure developments, like the Standard Gauge Railway, will make this even more evident. The Tanzanian society is also changing. Thanks to economic progress, people expect more services and products of a different nature. A new, bigger market is developing, creating business opportunities. Without going too far, I think it's sufficient to observe the trend in everything related to the digital economy, which has already been mentioned here today. It's also important to develop the business and investment environment in a manner that can be a game changer for the Tanzanian economy. As we've heard in the first panel, the economic operators need to see less red tape and a good investment environment. They want to feel secure by clear regulations, rules of taxation, and a predictable application of the rule of law. Tanzania has all the possibilities to live up to those requests. On the European side, our companies are looking for new investment opportunities in Tanzania and far beyond traditional sectors, such as agriculture, raw materials, and tourism. One example is renewable energy, which is a key sector in a country where economic operators are hungry for energy. But there are also other prospects linked to connectivity and infrastructure, where the EU and its member states and Tanzania should join forces to support business on both sides to make business flourish. The EU Global Gateway strategy responds to these needs of more investments. It aims to offer the best instruments to support European and Tanzanian investments. The Global Gateway is a new European strategy to boost smart, clean, and secure links, in particular in digital, energy, transport sector, but also to strengthen health, education, and research systems across the world. Between 2021 and 2027, Team Europe, meaning the European Union institutions and all our member states, will mobilize up to 300 billion euros of investments around the globe. About half of that, 150 billion euros, is directed towards Africa. And it's really a demonstration of the strong commitment and relationship the EU has with Africa. Taking as an example in Tanzania, we have the Kakono hydroenergy plant in Kagera region and the linked transmission infrastructure, which will pave the way for an interconnector between Tanzania and Uganda, thereby supporting regional stability, but also not only in Tanzania and Uganda, but also in the neighboring countries. I think this is an example of the flagship projects we would like to develop more of with Tanzania and with Tanzanian business and European business. Global Gateway also supports our partners in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Investment partners with EU entities will bring compliance with the best social and environmental standards, transfer of expertise, compliance with quality and safety standards, both for products and in services, and will also have a good training for employees. As the war in Ukraine has its global implications, as mentioned in the beginning, Global Gateway will also assist for us to tackle these crises together. To conclude, today we are marking an important day in EU-Tanzania business relations. We are keen to build on it, and you can rely on the full support of the European Union and its member states. I thank you very much for your attention. Asante sana.
Asante sana, Honorable Elena, His Excellency, a guest of honor. Allow me to call Honorable Thomas Ostros, Vice President, European Investment Bank, for his few remarks. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much and good morning. Vice President Mpango, Ministers, Deputy Secretary General, ladies and gentlemen, friends and colleagues. As Vice President of the European Investment Bank, responsible for our activities in East Africa, it is my honor and pleasure to welcome you all to the EU-Tanzania Business Forum today. Karibuni. The EU-Tanzania Forum brings together friends and partners from across the country of Tanzania and across Europe. I'm pleased that my colleagues and I can be here in Tanzania during the European Investment Bank's first high-level visit to Africa in 2023. I'm joined by Maria Shaw-Barragan, EIB Director for Global Lending Operations, Ed Claassen, the new head of our EIB's regional hub in East Africa in Nairobi, and colleagues from our business financing and public sector lending teams. We are at your disposal. Let me say that over the last 45 years, the EIB has worked with Tanzania partners to support clean energy, water, agriculture, tourism, and business financing across your beautiful country. This visit marks the return of the European Investment Bank, the world's largest international public bank, owned directly by the 27 European Union members, to Tanzania after a 7-year gap. It's great to be back again. Last year, during the first year of our operation of EIB Global, our new dedicated development finance branch, the European Investment Bank provided more than 4.1 billion euros for private and public investment across the African continent. And since the start of the COVID pandemic, the EIB has enabled more than 6 billion euros of business financing to ensure that African companies can better withstand the trade and tourism shocks that we have faced in recent years. And yesterday, in Nairobi, I was honored to announce the EIB's largest ever cooperation with our regional partner, TDB, the Trade and Development Bank of Eastern and Southern Africa, that will unlock more than $400 million of new business investment across Eastern and Southern Africa. The latest cooperation with the TDB is specifically targeted to support companies facing trade risk disruptions and business challenges triggered by Russia's brutal invasion of Ukraine and the COVID pandemic. Both here in Dar es Salaam and later on in Zanzibar, my colleagues and I will have the opportunity to see firsthand how Tanzanian entrepreneurs and businesses are investing to create jobs and investing to create a better future. Tomorrow, I will join chief executives and managing directors of 3 leading Tanzanian banks to unveil the details of our cooperation to unlock 540 million euros of new business investment across the country. This new business financing initiative includes both the European Investment Bank's largest ever support for targeted investment in the blue economy and dedicated financing for Tanzanian companies led by women. The scale and ambition of our dedicated support for the Tanzanian business investments is only possible thanks to the professionalism and engagement of Tanzanian financial partners, as well as the support of the European Union, including the European Union delegation here in Dar es Salaam and colleagues in Brussels. Thank you for that cooperation. So this afternoon, my colleagues and I look forward to discuss with business and political leaders on new opportunities for high-impact investment in Tanzania. Also, I look forward to traveling to Zanzibar tomorrow to meet local entrepreneurs and really see how better access to blue economy financing can lead to improvements through investment in fishing, shipping, and tourism. Asante, thank you for your attention.
Asante sana, His Excellency Guest of Honor. Sasa ni wakati wa contract signing, and before that, allow me to call Honorable Professor Makame Mnya Mbalawa, Minister for Works and Transport, for his few remarks. Honorable, karibu sana.
Your Excellency, Dr. Philip Mpango, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Olivier Bech, Minister for Trade, Attractiveness, and French nationals abroad, ministers and deputy ministers present here, permanent secretaries present here, government officials from the United Republic of Tanzania, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I salute you all in the name of the United Republic of Tanzania. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here at the signing ceremony of the bilateral air services agreements, BASA, between the United Republic of Tanzania and the Republic of France. Following the months of negotiations, we are pleased to be here today to sign an agreement that will bring the United Republic of Tanzania and the Republic of France even closer together. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to Honorable Minister Olivier Bech and your delegation for setting aside your time so as to join us and witness the historical event of bilateral air services agreement signing. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the bilateral air services agreement we are going to sign today was discussed during our experts meeting in Mayotte on 27 to 28 June 2022. The time taken for fruits of this agreement has been almost 7 months. However, it is pleasing to note that two governments are going the official signing of this PASA today. This is an important milestone in the United Republic of Tanzania bilateral relationship with the Republic of France. This agreement will replace the air service agreement between United Republic of Tanzania and the Republic of France, which was signed in June in 1978. The need to have a new agreement was necessary for aviation developments and cater for the market demands. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a brief insight of the BASA to be signed gives me a confidence as it has embodied the principle of business and effective regulatory controls for airline destinations, authorization of non-discriminatory airline self-handling, fair competition, open consultation between contracting parties, as well as unlimited capacities between Julius Nyerere International Airport, Abedi Amani Karume International Airport, and Kilimanjaro International Airport for the United Republic of Tanzania, as well as the agreed respective regional and international destinations of the Republic of France. The signing of BASA will create a capacity demand, allow a great market access to support growth and competition in the airport transport sector. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that the implementation of BASA will substantially increase air traffic movements for key targeted markets in the world, which include key airports, hub points that transit a large volume of passengers and goods. I strongly believe that direct flight between Genia, AAKI, and Kia and the metropolitan France will increase the number of guests in Tanzania coming from the France, Europe, and the rest of the world through the airline networks and connections. I have also been informed that Air France is in the final stages to commence direct flight between our two sister nations. This is indeed a great move to make. I also urge ATCL to make plans to start direct flights between our two countries. Again, this will facilitate the travel between our two countries and boost existing economic activities. The increase in flight will also stimulate aeronautical and non-aeronautical revenues, thus improve the aviation business for our two countries. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, with these few remarks, I hope that the conclusion of bilateral air services agreement, BASA today, will lead to the closer ties between the economy and the people of the United Republic of Tanzania and the Republic of France. Thank you very much for attention. Asanteni sana.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Profesa Makame Mnyambarawa, Waziri wa Ujenzi na Uchukuzi wa Serikali ya Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. His Excellency, Guest of Honor, before we proceed to signing agreement of air service agreement between the government of France and the Tanzania Civil Aviation Agency, allow me to welcome Honorable Olivier Bech, Minister Delegate for Foreign Trade and Economic Attractiveness from France, for a few words before we proceed for the signing ceremony. Karibu sana kwa mara ya pili.
Yes, thank you so much. Good morning again. I'm now pleased to announce that we are going to sign two major agreements. The first one is a new bilateral air service agreement. French and Tanzania air companies have been working for decades under the framework of an agreement that has become inadequate to cope with the increase of air traffic between the two countries. In October 2021, Air France launched a direct flight from Paris to Zanzibar, and next June they will extend this connection to Dar es Salaam. On its side, Air Tanzania has the appetite to expand its connection to French territories, first of all to Mayotte, and later to Paris. The French and Tanzanian civil aviation authorities agreed to expand the number of flight slots given to the airline companies of each country. This agreement will boost significantly the trade and tourism between both countries. So thank you very much, and let's sign.
Thank you very much. Asante sana. His Excellency, guest of honor, allow me now to call Professor Makame Mnyambalawa, Minister of Works and Transport, to proceed to the signing table, and Honorable Olivier Bech, Minister Delegates for Foreign Trade and Economic Attractiveness from the Government of France, to proceed to the signing table. Brass band, please get ready for fanfare during the signing ceremony. Yeah, okay. His Excellency, guest of honor, on behalf of the government of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Professor Makame Mnyambalawa, Minister of Works and Transport, together with Olivier Bech, on behalf of the government of France, signing air service agreement between the two countries. This agreement will allow the airline companies of both countries to increase their number of flights to the other countries. Air France will benefit from it as it plans to increase the number of flights in Tanzania with the incoming inauguration of a direct flight between Dar es Salaam and Paris in June 2023. Okay, the deal is done. Okay, okay, we can raise. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Deal done. Air service agreement between the government of the United Republic of Tanzania and the government of France is done. Thank you very much. His Excellency, guest of honor, Next, memorandum of understanding will be between the Port of Antwerp International and the Tanzania Port Authority. Allow me to call Mr. Plastus Mbosa, Director General, Tanzania Ports Authority, for few words before the signing. Mbosa, for few words.
Your Excellency, Dr. Philip Isidori Mpango, the Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Dr. Ashantu Kijaji, Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment, honorable guests from the European Union, honorable ministers present at this forum, honorable ambassadors present at this forum, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of the Tanzania Ports Authority, we are delighted to participate in this business forum, which, as among other things, will witness the signing of the MOU between the Tanzania Ports Authority and the Port of Antwerp Bruges of Belgium. I would like to say this opportunity to thank the coordinators for this special forum, and specifically the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, and the European Union. The forum has given us this opportunity to share the views on port industries and culminate in signing of the MOU that we will sign soon. On part of the port and the MOU that we are going to sign include, among other things, the following areas of cooperation. The first area will be consultancies on preparation and implementation of port infrastructure development plans. Honorable Vice President, the second area of cooperation will be the supervision of strategic port projects between the government and the private sector. Honorable Vice President, as you're aware, we are moving from being the operators of the port to landlord, and we are looking forward to let in private operators and developers of the port to develop and operate our ports. The third area of cooperation is on the advisory on the PPP contracts, specifically preparation of the contracts and the supervision of the same. And the last area is on the technical training in all areas of port industry. Your Excellency Vice President, through this MOU, TPA expects to enhance efficiency of the port industry and stimulate other economic activities that depend on the efficiency of the port. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, His Excellency, guest of honor. Allow me to welcome Mario Rieven, Director, Port of Antwerp, Bruges International, Belgium, for a few words before we proceed to the signing table. Welcome here. Yes, yeah. Few words, yes.
Thank you, Honorable Honorable Vice President, honorable ministers, honorable delegates of the EU, it's an honor to be here on the stage and sign this MOU, which will be the start of a collaboration where we, together with TPA and its team, will develop the gateway to Tanzania and its 8 neighbor countries, of which 6 are landlocked, to develop an attractive port platform, including not only port operations, but also logistics and industrial activity to really anchor the added value of the geostrategic position that Tanzania has. And so looking forward to do this shoulder to shoulder in a co-creation and provide opportunities for investors from Europe, Tanzania, and East Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, His Excellency, guest of honor. Allow me once again to welcome His Excellency Peter, Ambassador of Belgium to Tanzania, for a few words before we proceed to signing table. Ambassador, you are welcome for a few words.
Your Excellency, Dr. Philip Mpango, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, honorable ministers, distinguished guests. Tanzania is strategically located in the center of East Africa, sharing borders with 8 countries, of which 6 are landlocked, including Eastern DRC, which is looking eastward. This makes your country an important gateway to the region. Tanzania's ports form a network of critical nodes of seaports, lake ports, river ports, and dry ports that can help further unlock this tremendous potential. Tanzania Ports Authority stands before a pivotal moment in its history, and the Port of Antwerp-Bruges International stands ready to accompany TPA in its endeavors. The Port of Antwerp-Bruges is one of the largest ports in the world and the most important port for trade between the EU and Africa. With a vast experience in teaming up at ports worldwide through capacity building and advisory services, but also as a manager and investor in port projects in Latin America, Africa, Middle East, and Asia. Through their partnership, Port of Antwerp-Bruges International and TPA want to join forces with a view to further developing the existing port infrastructure and superstructure as an engine for the sustainable, inclusive development of Tanzania and as an industrial and logistics hub for the region. Platforms where added value and jobs are generated rather than merely generating import and export flows. TPA and POABI can therefore be seen as important public actors ready to implement the strategy and objectives of EU's Global Gateway Initiative here in Tanzania. Port of Antwerp-Bruges International and Antwerp-Flanders Port Training Center have been working together since 1979 with Tanzania Ports Authority on a sustainable partnership with a focus on capacity building. As part of this partnership, APIC, as it is called, has already welcomed over 100 employees from TPA to its training programs in Antwerp. This collaboration between both organizations was further strengthened in the past year and is resulting now in the signing of a mutually beneficial memorandum of understanding for consultancy, studies, and exchange on various sport-related activities, as well as training and capacity upscaling. I won't dwell on the aim of the MOU, which was already explained by the DG and the Director of Antwerp. What I still wanted to conclude with is that by strengthening the existing port infrastructure of Dar es Salaam, capitalizing on its geostrategic position to improve the hinterland connectivity through this development of dry ports and lake ports, and preparing for additional capacity in the near future, Tanzania, its economy and its people have much to win from their ports. So my sincerest congratulations to both parties, whom I now invite to solemnly sign the much valued Memorandum of Understanding. Hongera sana, kazi iendelee.
His Excellency, guest of honor, allow me to welcome His Excellency Nyamanga Justus, Ambassador of Tanzania to Belgium, to witness the signing ceremony, MOU between Port of Antwerp, Bruges International and the Tanzania Port Authority. Brass band, get ready for fanfare. Thank you very much. His Excellency, guest of honor. Next deal is Kakono. This is investment for construction of new hydropower plants in Kagera region. Allow me to call Ant Kunen, Director for Sustainable Finance, Director for Sustainable Finance, European Commission, for few words. Just proceed to the podium, please. Director, please proceed to podium for few words before we proceed to signing table.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's wonderful to say a few words about this very, very important project. Thank you, and allow me to start by really thanking the Agence Française de Développement for good cooperation and hard work that has been invested in this project. It will create great opportunities and help stimulate long-term economic development in the Kagera region. There is great value in collaboration, and that is what we are also celebrating today. In response to the emerging need for energy supply in the region, we designed this project together with the AFD to stabilize power supply in northwest Tanzania and to supply renewable energy power to the national grid. So this construction shows our commitment to support our partners in speed up their green transition and move towards a circular economy. The EU contribution, which is a contribution of 36 million in grant funding, will support the implementation of environmental management plan and the upgrade of the Kayaka substation and the preparatory works for the installation of the 400 kilowatt switchgear. It will allow to inject Kakono power directly into the Tanzania-Uganda interconnection. The EU grant will reduce borrowing costs for the government and for this investment, and this should result also in more affordable energy prices for the final users. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you very much. His Excellency, guest of honor. Once again, allow me to call Celine Robert, Country Director of Agence France de Development, AFD, for few words. Proceed to podium for few words.
Asante sana, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, Nabibi na Mabwana. It's a great honor for us to be here today and to sign this memorandum of cooperation for this project that is reinforcing the cooperation between the French Development Agency and the government of Tanzania. We've been working in preparing this investment for a while, and it's at the last stage of validation by the government of Tanzania. So this project will actually complement the portfolio of investment of the French Development Agency in the country that is amounting to more than 500 million euros, and that is covering generation of power, transmission, and also distribution networks to provide support to the vision of the government of Tanzania and their strategy to invest in the energy sector. So I thank you very much, and I leave the floor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. His Excellency, guest of honor, now is Ed Mark from the African Development Bank. Allow me to call Madam Patricia Lavery, Country Director of the African Development Bank, for a few words. You are welcome.
Thank you very much. Habari za subuhi. Your Excellency, Dr. Philip Isidore Mpango, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Dr. Olivier Becht, Minister of Foreign Trade, bonjour, monsieur, and to our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. On behalf of the African Development Bank, it is our distinct privilege and honor to be part of this important Tanzania-EU Business Forum aimed at increasing support to the government of Tanzania. For us at the African Development Bank, on December 16th, 2022, the board of the African Development Bank approved $161 million as its own contribution to the construction of the Kakono hydropower plant. The overall cost of the project is $308 million, of which the EU is providing $110 million, Agence Française is involved, and so on, but we are contributing $161 million for the construction of the plant. The Kakono hydropower project is a vital intervention that is part of the African Development Bank's country strategy for 2021 to 2025. Our strategy is focused on two work streams. The first is sustainable infrastructure for a competitive economy and improved private sector business environment aimed at job creation, of which the Kakono hydropower project is strategically aligned with. In terms of the specific activities that the African Development Bank will be supporting, first, we would support the civil works, the procurement of the electromagnetic equipment, as well as the overall supervision, financial management, and technical assistance for the project. The African Development Bank, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, deeply values its partnership with the European Union, and we look forward to further deepening our strong collaboration. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. A few remarks from African Development Bank. His Excellency, guest of honor, allow me once again to welcome Olivier Becht, Minister Delegate for Foreign Trade and Economic Attractiveness from France for just a minute. Just a minute.
Yes, thank you. I think that's already said, so it's a great project. It's good for Tanzania, it's good for the planet, for the climate, and good for humanity. So let's sign it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. His Excellency, guest of honor, allow me to call the following person to proceed to signing table. Ant Kunen, Serin Robert, and Patricia Lavery to proceed to signing table. And allow me to request a pleasure of the following key person. One is His Excellency Ambassador Nyamanga Justice, Ambassador of Tanzania to EU. His Excellency Manfredo Fant, European Head of Delegation to Tanzania, Ambassador of Tanzania in Paris, and the Ambassador of France in Tanzania to proceed to signing table to witness the deal. His Excellency, this deal will involve the construction of a line of the river hydropower plant in the Kagera region, northwestern Tanzania, with an installed capacity of 87 megawatt. Yeah. Yes. Here we go. And associated 38.8 kilometer of 132 kVA transmission line to evacuate power to an existing substation at Kiaka. The new hydropower plant is expected to replace several diesel generators based on the planned capacity. It is estimated that the plant will reduce GHG emission by 213,810 tons per year. The additional capacity will also improve reliability of the supply. Please, brass band. Deal done. Thank you very much. His Excellency, guest of honor, after 3 signing of MOU, please allow me now to welcome the announcement of private sector investment by KNAF Gypsum Tanzania Limited. So here we are going to have a video, special video, no any words, but for a minute, 1 or 2 minutes, we are going to watch a video. Yes, let's proceed for a video.
So I'm just going to start off by giving a bit of context on KNAF. KNAF had its humble beginning starting in 1930.